Today I wanted to do this more complex type of painting with a lot of different elements in it. First of all, we're going to tone the canvas. Burnt sienna, alizarin crimson, and ultramarine blue. I'm going to tone the canvas in a little bit different colors today. I'm going to tone it with a little bit of the cad yellow medium, a little bit of the cobalt. What I'm going to do is we're going to place everything, and then I'm going to finish each portion of it out separately, and I'll probably do that in different videos. That way we'll eventually finish it, but it won't be all in one video. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get a little bit of cad red and alizarin crimson and kind of sketch out where I want things. Now this is just kind of getting an idea of where things are going to lie. They could change, you know. This is just giving myself an idea of where things are going to be. Nothing permanent yet. Now that I know things are kind of where I want them to go, I can go back in and kind of give myself a map on where the darks are going to be. Shadows down in here, and that all becomes one shape. When I squint down, I see shadow areas, and I'm not looking really for where the cup ends and where the nectarine begins. I'm looking for areas of light and dark. And sometimes, you know, you'll have light areas that come out of dark areas, like a little stroke or two. It's best just to ignore it for the time being, and include it into the dark shape first, or vice versa if it's an area that has more light than dark. And you can always go back in and clean that later, but you just want to get the main shapes in, and then you can go put in details later. See, like this darkness here of the bottom of this, it's when you squint down, the shadow is just about as dark, and so that helps. That's all part of the same thing, the same darkness. These are berries up here, but what I'm going to do is I will reclaim the lights in between those berries later on. We'll go and pick out the background and add that in there in between them later on, but for now we're just kind of getting the mass of that whole area there. I'm squinting down, looking at that. Okay, and let's see, there are flowers here, but they are in shadow. There's some shadows going on down in here. They're white flowers, but that doesn't matter, they're in shadow, and so there are areas that you want to keep in the shadow. They're not bright white. Actually, some of that is in light, so I'm going to go back and take. Okay. And let's see. I'm going to pull some more out. And we have an area here that dark.
Okay. And then there is some shadow on up in here that's almost the same value.
Okay, so this is pretty much our sketch for this painting. And this just gives us an idea of where we're going to go with this and puts things in place. We may still end up moving some things around. There's nothing set in stone just yet. Okay, at this point, step back from your painting, take a good look at it, and see if there's anything that you might want to move around, reposition. I'm going to go ahead and add some white to some of the lighter highlights, the lighter areas of the painting, just to kind of give myself a guide to where the lightest lights are in my value range. There's some in this area here. See, there's some lights in this area. Some lights in here. I'm squinting down, looking at this. And then there's lights down in here. Let's see. Right here. I'm not going to put in every light in, but I'm just trying to find the areas that have light on them. This flower here has some on the very top of it. This one here has light coming out. Big brush for the background, because we definitely, I'm going to go ahead and tint this just a tad with a little bit of yellow. Just kind of laying it in just a little bit, not a lot yet. And I'm going to go ahead and tint these as well. Now, I didn't bother putting in any of the details here on this or this here, because, or on the jar or the cup, because we will get to that later. I like to do that wet on wet when I do a pattern like that, and I'll show you. We'll get to that later. Stand it from your painting. Make sure things are in line. Like right here, I think this needs to come up just a little bit there. And something like this, I like to put a little bit of turp on my brush. I clean it off and then just have a little bit of turp in there. And when you see a light area, you can kind of push and pull the paint in these areas. You're more or less removing paint. Sometimes, you know, it's a lot better than wiping out sometimes if you want a certain area, a certain shape. It gives you, you know, unique little shapes that you might not normally would be able to get. Okay, I think we're getting where we need to be here. I'm going to go ahead and put the big shapes here that are on this area. But I'm not going to put the more detailed areas at this point. I'm going to save that for later.